After several weeks, welcome back to the Seneca Scout. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Audrey. Due to inclement weather and multiple school cancellations, we are producing a condensed show this week and will be adjusting our production schedule for the remainder of the semester. So thank you for your patience, and we promise to have a full show for you in the next week.
Even with a condensed schedule, we still have a great variety of stories covering science, technology, and politics. Tonight we begin in Iran. The largest protests in Iran in nearly a decade continued to rage at the start of the new year, despite government moves to block access to social media outlets. The protests, which began as demonstrations against the Iranian regime's economic policies, have now become violent anti-government protests against Iran's repressive government. Chants such as "Death to the Dictator," referring to Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, are starting a cry of freedom among the Iranian people. U.S. President Donald Trump and UN Ambassador Nikki Haley expressed support for the Iranian protesters and put the message out the U.S. would be watching. The Iranian government, which has been known to be a state sponsor of terror, is under watch from the international community regarding its treatment of the protesters as well.
Last Thursday, a magnitude 4.4 earthquake hit the San Francisco Bay Area. This is the strongest earthquake that has hit the San Francisco area in a decade, where dozens of smaller earthquakes between magnitudes 3 and 4 have hit in that time period. The Hayward Fault underneath Berkeley, San Francisco is due for another large earthquake, as geological surveys have shown that the fault has a massive earthquake every 150 years. And it is almost the 150th anniversary of the last massive quake along the fault line. Public transportation was delayed that morning as workers checked tunnels and subway lines for any damages. No damages were found in the buildings or in the subway lines yet.
California and New Mexico have taken part in writing a sanctuary state bill, with Maryland soon to follow. The bill was written to make it illegal for Border Patrol and police forces to interrogate people under suspicion of being illegal immigrants, though after much debating, a compromise was reached. The legislation now states that it is not lawful to disclose information regarding illegal immigrants unless they have felony convictions in their name. There's been some uproar regarding the legislation, with many saying it is unconstitutional for state legislatures to disregard federal law, and others arguing the status quo would result in more racial profiling. In protest of the bill, a few pranksters have changed California state welcome signs to say "Felons, illegals, and MS-13s welcome. Democrats need the votes." The fight over the interpretation of the Constitution is being fueled by the bill.
We move from contemporary immigration to ancient migration. Researchers have uncovered a new group of ancient Native Americans after the recovery of a child's bones in Alaska. The bones, dated back to the end of the last ice age, are believed to be from an infant only 6 weeks old. The newly discovered group, named Ancient Burigians, appeared to be the branch of the original founding group of Native Americans from around 20,000 years ago. The Burigians have been said to have died out in the north after other Native Americans migrated south when the ice caps melted. However, professionals like geneticist David Reich do not believe that there's enough evidence to definitively say that the Burigians split from ancient natives. Some signs point to migration in Asia before Native Americans made their way to the New World, as opposed to the theory that they split after settling. The bones were found in 2013, but it was impossible to have full genetic analysis until now. Though not much is known about the Burigians, scientists do agree that they are the oldest Native American group for which evidence exists.
There are a handful of new science breakthroughs planned and predicted for 2018. Here are a few of the highlights. Much of 2018 will have many improvements to modern space and technology and research, ranging from asteroid sampling to SpaceX's new Falcon Heavy spacecraft. Countries such as Japan and India plan on improving on their previous attempts at gathering samples from asteroids by making better forms of their previous spacecraft. SpaceX's new Falcon Heavy has been planned to launch payloads up to 57 metric tons into space and will eventually take astronauts beyond Earth's orbit. SpaceX has also teamed up with Boeing to help bring astronauts up to the International Space Station after relying on Russia since 2011.
For many years, there has been a theory that Apple intentionally slows down iPhones over time to make people buy buy new iPhones. This theory was recently proven, however, not for the same reason. In early December, John Poole, the founder of the software company Primate Labs, ran tests on iPhone's 6S and 7 models and discovered that if the battery was aged, the software in the phone would throttle or slow down the speed to maintain stability. Lithium batteries age over time, which can make them more vulnerable to drops in power during stress use. This can cause the phone to crash. Beginning in iOS 10.2, Apple introduced an update that slows the iPhone during times of intense use to prevent dips in power and crashes. This can, however, create a noticeable impact in performance on the phone. At the end of the year, Apple issued a statement to their customers. In their statement, they apologized to their customers for not communicating the implementations, saying, "We have never and would never do anything intentionally shorten the life of any Apple product or degrade the user experience to drive customer upgrades." Apple has offered consolation to customers by allowing iPhone Model 6 and newer to have their battery replaced for $29, $50 less than the normal price. Additionally, users will better be able to view and manage the state of their batteries.
Anna Hensel at VentureBeat, a well-known tech news source, has named Pittsburgh as one of the 4 tech cities to watch in 2018. The 4 cities chosen are ones that she believes entrepreneurs, investors, or government leaders in the city have proven that they can effectively identify what resources entrepreneurs will need to grow in the city. The activity in Pittsburgh seems to be generating the most interest, Hensel writes. She states also that Pittsburgh has a natural advantage due to it being the home of Carnegie Mellon University and it being the host of one of the largest and most popular computer science programs in the country. Because of all this, Hensel expects to see some great tech innovations in the coming year.
On December 8th, 12 students from grades 9 to 12 participated in the 2017 Chain Reaction Contraption Competition. The competition was held at Carnegie Science Center and is a part of the National Engineers Week. The competition involves building a machine that will accomplish a certain task using a series of steps. Sophomore Mike Baggy, who is on the team, has some things to say about the competition.
So basically, me and 12 other students from Seneca Valley, we went down to the Carnegie Science Center in Pittsburgh to present our Rube Goldberg machine that we've been building for a couple months. And it was a lot of fun because not only did we get to present our machine in front of judges and be judged on it, but we also got to look at some of the other contraptions of students from all over Western Pennsylvania, so that was really fun.
The Seneca team created a Gold Rush theme contraption that earned them the best execution of a theme, made it to the top 8 finals, and snatched 6th place overall. The Chain Reaction Contraption competition allowed for students all around Western PA to meet and learn from one another.
A Pittsburgh Pirate has paired with a local coffee house to benefit cancer patients. Jameson Tyone, who is a pitcher for the Pirates, has created his own coffee blend in an effort to help those with cancer. The blend, called the Lending Hearts Blend, will be sold at Commonplace Coffee, and all proceeds will go toward Lending Hearts. There are 4 Commonplace Coffees in Pittsburgh, as well as a few in Lancaster County. The charity is a local one and benefits teenagers and young adults suffering from cancer. Tyone himself suffered from testicular cancer last year, and although he has recovered and is still playing for the Pirates.
That is all we have for you this week. Check back next week for a more complete show, and thanks for watching.
Have a great week. That was